Okay, hello everyone, my name is Prayoga and I'm from the A morning class, and this time I will explain about you to a second language acquisition. Okay, the first is what the second language. Second language is the language that a person acquire after he acquiring his mother tongue. And about second language acquisition, the theory is the theory that seeks to measure how and by what process individual acquire a second language. The main purpose of the second language acquisition is to explain how people already know one language and how you can learn the second language. The field of second language acquisition involves the range of contributions such as linguistics, social linguistics, psychology, cognitive science, neuroscience, and education. Okay, now I will explain about the three theories on the how to acquire a second language. The first is behaviorism theory, that's pioneered by the B.F. Skinner in 1957. This view emphasizes that the process of language acquisition is controlled from the outside, or you can say by stimulate through the environment. So that this behavioristic theory that talking about development of determined by length of training provided by the environment. The development of language is seen as a progress from the application of principle of stimulus response and process of the imitation. So according to behaviorism theory, the second language or language can learn by stimulus response from the environment, or by that people or we how we to imitation that language. Next is nativism theory. The nativism theory was pioneered by the Noam Chomsky in the early 1960s as a rebuttal to theory language learning put forward by behaviorists. This theory, Chomsky believed that the environment influence is not the important factor. So in language acquisition, so Chomsky say that environment or behavioristic theory is not the important factor how people can get the second language acquisition. So the environment doesn't have the major influence on develop. And he say that how language can get it can include by the person ability to master a language, especially a second language, is influenced by ability smartness, or more precisely influenced by the genetic factor. So according to this theory, the genetic factor is the most important thing how you can learn the second language, because in your genetic factor, maybe your parents are smart, so you may be smart and you can learn the second language, doesn't like the others. Okay, the next is cognitive theory that was introduced by Piaget in the 1954. According to Piaget, language is not a separate natural feature, but several abilities derived from cognitive maturity. The complex structure of language is not something given by nature or something learned from the environment. Piaget argued that language is you get when you doing the interaction between the person that use that language and you are not know that language either. So in this theory, the environment or the genetic is not the problem or important factor how you can get the second language. Is more like how fluent you interactive with the audience or the speaker that use that language. And then talking about the several factors that can affect how quickly of a language is learned. Okay, there are four things that affect how quickly the language is learned. First is acquisition learning hypothesis. This hypothesis actually combines two basic theories about the individual learned language. You can conclude that two independent but related systems of the language acquisition: the acquisition system and learning system, which means a second language obtained through the entrance and learning. So how much you interactive your motivation learning and how hard you learn is make you easier or to know about the second language. So it's depend to your motivation and your progress and activity. The next is monitor hypothesis. The monitor hypothesis attempt to explain how acquired system is affected by the studied system. When the second language learn, monitor their speak, they apply their understanding of grammar. So in this theory, you how more you understanding the grammar of that language is more easy and more quick you learn that language. The natural order hypothesis, this is the third affect how quickly the language can learn. So this hypothesis states that our natural order how second language learn acquired by the target. Research show this natural order system is transit age. So in this hypothesis, this how old are you, how hard your mother tongue language or your condition is make how fast you can learn that language. And the last is the input hypothesis. This hypothesis seeks to explain how second language was acquired is not basic form. Its input by hypothesis argue that learn progress along the natural order only when they encounter the second language input and one step beyond their place on the natural order. Therefore, if learn is the first step is about list, they will only continue along the natural order when they find out the input in the second step. Okay, I think that's all explanation from me. Thank you for watching and see you.